Stay tuned for the Living Legends segment. We get to watch the first of a two-part interview. Daniel Wahome speaks to pioneering broadcaster Muthoni Likimani. Our sign language interpreter for tonight's edition is Lucy Maura. But first, a quick look at the highlights for tonight's bulletin. Legends edition. Bandits on the rampage. 2 people killed in Turkana and 1 in Laikipia. Bishop Dr. David Oginde is nominated for the position of the chairperson of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Treasury is blamed for loss of 200 billion shillings in revenue on account of tax waivers. Welcome back. President William Ruto has nominated Bishop Dr. David Oginde for the position of the chairperson of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Dr. Oginde's name has been forwarded to the National Assembly for consideration in fulfillment of the legal requirements set out under the Constitution and the EACC Act. The nomination fills the vacancy caused by the retirement of Archbishop Emeritus Dr. Eliud Wabukala, who served a full 6-year term at the helm of the EACC.
Former presiding Bishop of Christ's The Answer Ministries Dr. David Oginde has edged closer to becoming the next chairperson of the anti-graft watchdog EACC. Oginde beat a field of hopefuls, among them the former Makueni County Governor Professor Kivutha Kibwana, to emerge as the most favourable successor to Archbishop Dr. Eliud Wabukala. An architect by training, Bishop Oginde is the immediate former Chancellor of Pan-African University. He holds a PhD in Organizational Leadership from Regent University School of Business and Leadership, USA. Dr. Oginde previously graduated with a master's degree in leadership from Pan-African Christian University. If approved by Parliament, he will lead the Kenya Kwanza government's onslaught against corruption. His nomination comes against the backdrop of an ongoing probe by Parliament into allegations that monies running into billions of shillings was stolen at the height of the 2022 general elections. Yusufar reporting for the Legends edition.
Azimio la Umoja coalition leaders say an insurance company in the country is part of the many products and services they will be asking their supporters to boycott from next week. Opposition Chief Raila Odinga maintained that President William Ruto is reluctant to address the opposition's irreducible minimums, saying the opposition's option is to push Kenyans to exercise the people's power. Raila, who led a rally in Narok, urged the Ma community to turn out in large numbers for the major mass action scheduled for 20th of March in the country's capital.
Odinga and his allies say there will be no turning back in their quest for electoral justice and economic reforms. Addressing a charged crowd in Narok County on Saturday, Raila Odinga said that the opposition has narrowed down on entities it believes are the engines behind the government's reluctance to address their demands.
Makampuni ambayo wanatumia vibaya. Kwa mfano hii kampuni inaitwa Safaricom. Kuanzia wiki ijayo hii tunabii siku ile ambayo tunasema sisi tunawacha Safaricom tunahama. Mambo ya mayai, unajua hiyo? Kuna kampuni yote ya bima ya insurance mtapata jina lake. Sasa na simuko tayari kusimama na baba. Hebu ndio mkono kama uko tayari kusimama na baba kabisa.
To drive the message home and make it resonate with the mass support base, Odinga questioned the government's commitment to fortifying Kenya's largest water tower, the Mau Complex.
Sasa mimi kila mara napita ndege hapo juu. Utaona kama moto inachomeka huko ndani. Wanachoma msitu kila mahali wanachoma hivi. Pande hii jamaa akija hapa anasema ati Mau itahifadhiwa lakini haifanyiki hivyo. Mimi nilisema ati mimi Raila Odinga niko tayari kwenda kuuza mandazi Kibira, lakini mawe yafadhili. Tuko na mheshimiwa Kalonzo Musyoka hapa.
Raila Odinga and his allies are vowing to pile pressure on the government to yield and open the room for dialogue in the recruitment of commissioners to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission.
Hiyo lazima referee achaguliwe na timu zote. Tuko pamoja? Pale referee anachagua timu, mtu mmoja anamchagua, huyo referee atakuwa sawa kweli? Hiyo ndio tumesema hatutakubali.
Fika tarehe 20 ya mwezi huu, Jumatatu ile nyingine, njia yote inaelekea wapi? Inaelekea wapi?
Na sisi tumekuja kuwaomba njia ya kujiondolea janga ambalo tuko nalo ni kusikia yale yote baba amesema.
Sisi hatutaharibu mali ya watu. Sisi ni watu wa amani.
The opposition will on Sunday take its political rally to Mombasa, but the boycott of products and services will begin as early as next week unless the government meets the so-called irreducible minimums. Kamchimenza for the Legends edition.
Defense Cabinet Secretary Adan Duale now says Azimio One Kenya party is calling for mass action to divert attention from the crimes they did during the former regime. Speaking in Garissa, Duale said the Ruto administration is not threatened by the protests. And as Gishuki Washira reports, the mass action calls continue to elicit mixed reactions from political players.
Speaking at Manar Islamic Center, Defense Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale termed the mass demonstration by Azimio One Kenya Coalition Party as a diversionary tactic to cover up for crimes committed by former regime.
What is making President Kenyatta and his handshake brother very uneasy the last 7 months is because they know the crimes they have committed against the people of Kenya, against the economy in the last 2 years, 3 years of the handshake.
With Azimio One Kenya planning a mega protest on 20th March, the Defense Cabinet Secretary says Kenya Kwanza administration is not threatened. This as Maendeleo ya Wanawake organization wants the government to engage the opposition in a dialogue to avert tension.
Our call as Maendeleo, let's not go back there. Dialogue is the answer. We call on our leaders to put the country first.
Cooperatives Cabinet Secretary Simon Chelugui also weighed on the matter, blaming the former regime for the high cost of living.
Mambo ya mafuta, mambo ya chakula, na hii mambo yote ni yeye alikuwa hapo katikati. Kwa hivyo akija hapa asikuje kutuletea kwamba hapo nyuma amepata maono tofauti ndio sasa anatuambia tuandamane kwa barabara.
But in Mombasa, Azimio grassroots leaders welcoming the mass demos, arguing there is need to compel the government to lower the cost of living.
Tuko tayari sisi Mombasa kuungana na wale wengine kuwapokea viongozi wetu na kushirikiana nao, na tuko tayari kwenda barabarani kuandamana kwa sababu haki, lazima tupiganie haki yetu.
Azimio One Kenya Coalition Party leader Raila Odinga is expected to hold a public rally at Caltex ground in Likoni, Mombasa on Sunday. Gisho Kwashira, Legends Edition.
Kenya lost over 200 billion shillings ahead of last year's elections due to illegal tax waivers, abandonments and exemptions to individuals and companies of powerful individuals connected to the state. Consequently, the Finance and National Planning Committee of the National Assembly has given the Kenya Revenue Authority a 7-day ultimatum to supply it with a list of all individuals and companies that benefited from the waivers.
A meeting between members of the National Assembly Finance and National Planning Committee and senior officers from the Kenya Revenue Authority at a Naivasha hotel turned stormy upon revelations that the country lost billions of shillings in the run-up to the August 2022 general election.
Kali kipitia Wizara ya Fedha iliweza kuidhinisha ile ushuru ambayo ingekuwa tajika kulipwa na baadhi ya idara, na hiyo tumelose zaidi ya bilioni 200 na bado tunaendelea kukumbana nayo.
What we saw was inefficiency in management. We're talking about irregularity in award of a contract.
It is alleged that Treasury, which was supposed to enhance revenue collection, would instead give waivers, exemptions and abandonments despite oppositions from KRA.
There were people who were being forgiven because abandonment is being forgiven, including principal tax. You know, someone had some institutions have deducted pay as you earn from employees. They do not remit, and they just given a chance to abandon. Some of these decisions for abandonment were challenged by the Attorney General.
The committee chairman Kimani Kuria blamed this for country's failure to achieve revenue targets.
Have one side of government trying, in terms of Kenya Revenue Authority, trying to raise revenue, and we have the other arm of government, the Executive Treasury, who really need this revenue so that we can pay all the pending bills and do development, that actually approved this abandonment.
He noted that majority of waivers, exemptions and abandonments were conducted between 2021 and 2022, with beneficiaries being some government ministries, a Chinese company, individuals and organizations that were run by powerful individuals in the country. During the meeting, the committee took issue with a contract entered between KRA and a foreign company on the printing of excise duty stamps.
Why are you buying stamps in euros, in the first place? But maybe for good recourse, they have been able to negotiate. A stamp that we were buying at 1.8 shillings is now we are now buying it at 1 shilling. And so even the question is, if the supplier is willing to reduce the cost at which he was selling this stamp to us from 1 shilling and 80 cents to 1 shilling, then it definitely means that 80 cents were going to someone else's pocket.
The committee gave KRA 1 week to furnish it with a list and documentation of all those who benefited from the waivers.
The specific information we asked about abandonments, about waivers, and about exemptions that were given, we were not able to get that information today. And you have said we have given you up to 20th of March to service that information to public, so that it can be to Parliament, so that we can table that report to Parliament, so that that report can be subject to public scrutiny.
For Legends Edition, I'm Ben Troinjue.
Introduce mechanization, value and survey the land, look at the welfare of workers and sustain corporate social responsibility if the tea sector is to thrive. These were the recommendations by the Kericho County Task Force on Tea. Kericho County Governor Eric Mutai says the recommendations call for 60% mechanization and 40% hand labor in tea estates, which is set to harmonize tea processing and benefit tea growers.
Kericho County formed a task force comprising an 11-member committee to address issues affecting tea growers in the county. The task force was tasked with the assessment of the social and economic impact of the current and emerging challenges on the residents of Kericho, such as mechanization of tea picking, which has rendered thousands of casual laborers jobless.
We want to have an harmony on how we move forward as one. And this is a proposal that has been done by the task force. From here, we'll be able to move and do what is needed to be done in terms of forming a technical team to agree now with the two parties.
Now, the county leadership says all parties can move forward, with the report being touted as the most exhaustive yet, with the Kenya Tea Growers Association also participating in the process.
KTG and Ekatera will also form a group so that we can be able to look at issues that have come out of this report and see how we can be able to go about actioning them.
The report will now be collated into a document through a technical team, which will be formed so that the thorny and controversial issues will be addressed.
We have listened through the issues that they have covered. Almost, in fact, they went over and above what we had asked them to do, in all fairness. They have told us of even existing opportunities in these private tea estates that as many people of Kericho were not aware of.
The task force was also mandated with the analyzing of roles of different stakeholder segments and making recommendations on how they can collaborate among themselves with the county government to develop the tea subsector.
Cabinet Secretary for Cooperatives and SMEs, Simon Chelugui, has challenged savings and credit cooperative societies to adopt new market strategies that will cushion them against external shocks in the ever-changing competitive cooperative sector. He was speaking at the 38th Annual General Meeting for Kimisitu Sacco, held at the Kenyatta International Convention Centre.
We have got active membership, which grew by 15.5% to 10,492 members in the year 2022. The total asset base for the SACCO increased from Kenya shillings 8.5 billion in 2021 to Kenya shillings 9.162 billion in 2022. The key achievement for the SACCO, which are very notable in the financial year 2022, one is to hit a billion mark in terms of the revenue actualization.
Sustainability of your SACCO is much more important than a one-day dividend payout. We are moving and mobilizing with the formation of government, establishment of this standalone ministry of cooperatives and MSME. The cooperative future is bright. You should be able to make provision for capitalization of your society, of your SACCO, so that in case of challenges and pandemics like COVID that came, the drought that we are going through, your society, your SACCO is not affected.
Passengers travelling from Migori, Homa Bay and Kisumu through Lake Victoria can breathe a sigh of relief after the water bus company ventured into ferrying operations. Waterbus provides transport services between Kendu Bay town in Homa Bay and Kisumu town at a cost of 250 shillings and takes between 45 minutes to 1.5 hours.
Locals say the long struggle of logistics between South Nyanza counties of Homa Bay, Kisii and Migori has been eased. They say the water bus operations will now enable them to access the counties, and this, they say, will transform their lives.
Safari imekuwa poa, tulitoka kitu 6:30 hivi. Imekuwa tu mwendo pole pole tu, ndo nimefurahia. Nimependelea kwa sana. Imeshinda hata magari.
So tunataka ku experience water bus. It's easy, it's badala ya kuzunguka na basi. Sasa hapa ni karibu sana. 45 minutes tumefika Kisumu.
Philip Adoyo, a resident and one of the operators, said the introduction was informed by the need to reduce the cost of transport from South Nyanza to Kisumu City.
Tunaona ikiwa smart sana kwa sababu imetusaidia, watu wanatoka mbali sehemu za Kisii wanakuja kuabiri ili gari ya water bus.
Adoyo said the vessel will enable passengers to reach their destinations on time, adding that it is also a source of employment to the youths in the area.
Upande wa employment bado imetuemploy sisi kama vijana, tuko kazi na ikiwa kazi hata sisi pia tuko kazi.
The Kendu Bay water bus services will join the Mbita Ferry Services Limited, which resumed operations in February 2022 after a brief pause in December 2021. Homa Bay Chief Executive Committee member Roads, Public Works, Transport and Infrastructure, Danisho Nyango, and his water, irrigation, sanitation, environment, energy, forestry and climate change counterpart, Dr. Joash Alo, said the county government will endeavor to create a favorable environment for investment.
Our strategic goal is to make the environment so conducive that other operators can also come in. Remember, in business, the more competitors in the business, the better services.
We encourage investors to come in large numbers because already Ports Authority is working down here next to the lake and they're working on the pier.
Beatrice Gatonyangetich, Legends Edition.
And now it's time for a quick break. Stay tuned for the Living Legends segment. We get to watch the first of a two-part interview. Daniel Wahome speaks to pioneering broadcaster Muthoni Likimani. Stay with us.
Unajua siku hizi wateja wanatulipa na simu sana. Na hiyo si shida, hiyo ni poa sana by the way. Lakini sasa shida inatokea, wengine wetu wanachukua hizo namba za wateja, alafu wanaanza kugawana huku nje kama njugu. Bana, inatuharibia kazi.
In this digital era, it's normal to collect information for your client. But if you're collecting information for the client, it's important that you secure it and use it for the intended purpose.
Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na ofisi ya Data Protection Commissioner.
Kupata maisha kama sikiza tuni yako, bonyeza *811 *816#.
Maisha ni mafupi, hivyo si vyema kumaliza muda mwingi katika malumbano. Hesabu baraka zako, wathamini rafiki zako na tabasamu ili udumishe amani.
Kupata maisha, bonyeza *811 *816#. *811 *816#.
Jumapili hii kwenye runinga ya KBC, ungana naye Askofu Michael Wanderi wa kanisa la Christian Foundation Fellowship Kiambu kuanzia saa 1 hadi saa 2 asubuhi.
Ningetaka nikwambie, our Jehovah God, because the Bible says he is the same yesterday, today and forevermore. He is able to take you to a place of abundance. He is able to take you to Rehoboth in the name of Jesus Christ.
Kipindi ni neno la neema, ukiletewa naye Askofu Michael Wanderi wa kanisa la Christian Foundation Fellowship Kiambu. Usikose.
I was part of the team ilitumwa ku take out Burhan. Nilikaa for 5 years, nika study the man. All I ask is you let me right my wrongs and give me an opportunity to bring Burhan down for good. Senior Sergeant Farah, a.k.a. Stingray. Corporal Ibrahim, a.k.a. Mongoose. Corporal Katana, a.k.a. Panther. PC Kibet, a.k.a. University. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We do this for honor. Yeah. Our loved ones, our family, and our country. 1, 2, 3.
Kama imefika ile info kudeliver bidhaa kama kawa kuna maswali.
Welcome back. 2 people were killed and 4 injured when bandits staged a daring dawn attack on Lorogon village in Turkana South Sub-County on Saturday. The raiders also drove away 600 animals. And tension remains high in Laikipia County after a 43-year-old man was shot and killed by suspected bandits who invaded his home in the wee hours of Saturday before making away with his 120 goats. The attacks have dumbfounded the locals as to how they have continued unabated by the ongoing curfew and security operation.
Amid the ongoing operation launched by government to flush out bandits and recover illegal firearms in the North Rift region, a group of suspected bandits invaded Kayole village in Kithiga ward of Laikipia County on Saturday and shot dead 1 person before making away with 120 goats.
Tulisikia kondo inatoka, ndio Benard akatoka nje. Kutoka nje, kumbe mikora walikuwa hapo nje. Kutoka hivi wakampiga risasi. Mimi sikujua kama kuna kitu imegonga.
Immediately wakati hiyo kitu ilitokea, tukaanza coordinate na wale officers wetu walikuwa hapa kwa ground, wakachukua mwili ya marehemu wakapeleka kule mahali penye walipeleka, na tukaendelea kufuata hawa majangili mahali penye walielekea. Na mpaka saa hii bado tuna coordinate Laikipia na Baringo mahali penye hiyo watu inasemekana ya kwamba wameelekea.
Tension remains high in the area as residents and leaders wonder how criminals could be roaming around at night despite the ongoing curfew and security operation meant to weed out criminals in the area.
Wala askari ambaye tuko naye hapa katika sehemu hii kutoka Nyakenywa mpaka pale Kamwenje, tuko na askari zaidi ya karibu 400. Na kama tuko na askari kama 400, wanaonekana kwamba wameeswa na kasi yao.
ikiwa hawafanyi kazi. Sasa imefika wakati wananchi watafanya kazi yao, kwa sababu hatuwezi kutoka hapa ni kwetu na ni lazima tushuge mali yetu.
In a related incident, 2 people were shot dead and 4 left nursing bullet wounds after armed bandits raided Lorogon village in Turkana South Sub-County on Saturday. Residents and leaders have accused the security officers of failing to respond to their plea for security beef up in the area. Ben Chumba, Legends Edition.
A 60-year-old man has been killed by an elephant in Mtito-Ende Ward, Taita Taveta County, at Likoni Village in Mtito-Ende Ward. And in Kilifi, fishermen are lamenting over harassment by the Kenya Coast Guard. Details of this and other stories in the County News Roundup.
Patrick Musembi is said to have survived a hyena attack 3 years ago in Taita Taveta County. An attack by an elephant at his Likoni village in Mtito-Ende Ward a week ago, however, ended his life. Makueni Senator Daniel Manzo is now accusing the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife of negligence.
Nani hasara tupu mnapea nchi ya Kenya. Mkipeleka ndovu, hamtahitaji kulipa mtu yoyote ambaye ameumia, hamtahitaji kulipa chakula ambacho kimeharibiwa, na pesa ya Kenya itatumika kwa mambo mengine. Mkilegea, mkizembea kama vile mnazembea, watu watazidi kufa, na sasa wakifa mnachelewesha kulipa, itakuwa ni kiwashitaki sasa.
Elsewhere, in Kilifi County, the government has been urged to facilitate small-scale fishermen in acquiring documentation for their trade. Led by the chairman of the 17-member Kilifi Beach Management Unit, Charles Nyale, the fishermen decried continued harassment by Kenya Coast Guards and the Kenya Maritime Authority.
Ni kweli tumepewa mradi huu, lakini tutawezaje ili tuweze kufanikisha mambo haya kwa usawa. So la msingi katika haya yote ni tuasema kwamba hizi agency ambazo zimehusishwa, the multi agency, tunaomba kabisa ya kwamba tuwe na forum ambayo itaweza kuleta hawa wote kwa pamoja, tukakubaliana ni sheria gani mwafaka ambazo zitakuwa hazihujumu utendakazi wa yule mvuvi pale chini.
In Meru County, the Administration Police Leadership and Sports Center and the neighboring community have benefited from the drilling of a borehole by Tana Waterworks Development Agency. Speaking during the handing over of the borehole, the agency's chairman, James Kathaka, said communities neighboring the institution will also enjoy fresh water supply.
We are saying that we are going to do more boreholes. At the same time, we are asking people not to depend mostly on electricity. We need to also do in a solar way, so that we don't spend a lot of money by electricity.
Finally, Kenya Medical Supplies Authority has commended the county government of Taita Taveta for its commitment to clear an 89 million shillings debt for medical supplies. The county governor made the undertaking to ensure continuous supply of drugs by Kenya Medical Supplies Authority.
Tunashukuru sana manake kwa kweli ile time wameimprove. Na najua ataendelea kuimprove. So the turnaround time should be about 10 days, the way she was talking about. Then wakati madawa hamna, within 10 days.
Right, after the commercial break, Topi Lambila is all set with the latest in sports. Stay with us.
Nimesahau kucheza Loto Moto. Usisahau kucheza Loto Moto. Shinda milioni 2 kila siku kwenye M-Pesa. Chagua lipa na M-Pesa. Paybill number 757070. Account number andika neno Loto, kisha weka star na nambari yako ya simu. Weka kiwango chochote cha pesa kuanzia shilingi 50 hadi 2,000.
Aulali.
Lipa kisha subiri draw. Welala, nitakutimizia ndoto zako. Milioni 2 usiamini. Ujumbe huu umeidhinishwa na BCLB.
Programming changes on Channel 1 starting this March. Your favorite entertainment show Grapevine shifts from Tuesday to Monday night at 10 p.m. Take on Tech, the show that keeps you up to date with the latest technological trends, will now be airing from 10:30 p.m. on Mondays. Join us every Tuesday as we bring you a performance assessment of the national and county governments on Scorecard from 10 p.m. KBC Channel 1, keeping you informed and entertained.
Women who eat healthily before and during pregnancy may cut the risk of their baby developing health problems, according to research.
The child gets most of the calcium from breast milk. If the baby was the time for conception, he has not been getting enough calcium. He will be born without enough calcium. There'll be a deficit.
Eating my healthy food,
Yes,
maybe
yes.
my sukuma wiki, my ugali, you know, I'm taking my proteins maybe from meats
Yes.
and my fish.
Eggs are good sources of proteins, yeah? People normally say that you should not take a lot of eggs because the child will be big, you won't be able to push the child at the time of birth. Those are just myths. You should take things, but in moderation.
To the sports segment on this Legends edition this Saturday evening. We have quite a lineup of sports activities that went on today on the Legends edition. Now there is a third overnight lead at the Magical Kenya Open after moving day at the Par 71 Muthaiga Golf Club today. The final round will be played tomorrow. The players met the card battle for the coveted maroon jacket, and the winner taking home 43.75 million Kenya shillings.
I'm just going to go hit the range, try to get my rhythm back, try to get the swing back in sync. And yeah, hopefully shoot a good round tomorrow, and we'll see how we finish.
Spaniard Jorge Campillo shot to the top of the leaderboard after a day's best round of 8 under par 63 for a total of 13 under par 210. Scotland's Robert McIntyre is second on 12 under par 211.
Yeah, it was good. Same again. Pretty good off the tee. Approach play's been the strength the last wee while, and it's good to see some putts go in. But overall, game's in decent shape.
The motorcycling sporting season for 2022 was a busy year for the MSFK, with a total of 15 National Series events in motocross and enduro, and 3 FIM sanctioned events, including FIM Africa Motocross of African Nations and FIM Africa Central African Challenge Cup. The winners were today awarded the MFSK Awards, also recognizing winners of the Special Awards category under both sporting and beyond sports.
The MX national champions for 2022 who were rewarded today were Mala Ngonga, awarded for her exploits in the MX Ladies Junior class, Dylan Hatanga in the MX 50, Lewis Ogonyi in the MX 65, Ryan Tiren in MX 85, Neo Wahome in MX 125, Kithuku Mungai in MX 1, and David Kahumbu in Vets and Masters class. The Enduro national champions were Karen Sahmi, Sharan Singh, and Hussein Taher, awarded in the senior classes, and Max Kavena, Tommy Kavena, and Amaya Sidi in the junior classes. The Rally Raid national champion was Arjun Mohindra. In addition to the competitions, there were also beyond sports activities such as medical, leisure and touring, road safety and advocacy, sustainability, and women in motorcycling. Beyond sports activities for 2022 included the Concours d'Elegance and the community engagement programs such as Ubuntu Run, Biker Spray Day, leisure rides, road safety, gender parity,
Day Mental Health Awareness and Sustainability Initiatives hosted Private Bikers Association of Kenya and Women Bikers Association. MSFK also recognized winners of the special awards category under both sporting and beyond sports. The Lady Rider of the Year was Ivanka Yongo. The Meritorious Award went to Mutahi Waridhi. Sustainability Award was won by Women Bikers Association. Women in Motorcycling Award was handed to Julie M. Wahome. Personality of the Year Award was taken by Mikael Brahman. Club of the Year Award was given to East Africa Motorsports Club. Karin Bernardi Memorial Trophy was handed to the Young family, while Angus Young Memorial Trophy was grabbed by Sami Kiumbe.
National under-21 men and women's hockey teams will leave the country tonight for Egypt, where they will take part in the Junior Africa Cup, set to be held between the 12th and the 16th of this month in Ismailia. Kenya will be open their campaign against host Egypt tomorrow before facing South Africa in the second match on Monday.
National Under-21 hockey team is optimistic of posting good results in the African Hockey Junior Camp, with the men's team seeking to win the event for the first time in 41 years.
Kenya, we have never been scared of any team. We have psyched up properly and we promise to bring this thing home. After very good coaching committee being here with us, I'm sure we'll bring it home.
The two teams, which were kitted today by the National Committee of Kenya, will leave the country tonight for Egypt to take part in the 5-day competition. The event has attracted 4 teams, including host Egypt, Kenya, South Africa, and Zimbabwe.
The team is ready to go. We've done what we needed to do in terms of preparation. We've done our technicals, we've done our tacticals, we've done our scouting on what the opponents potentially are doing, and I think we are good to go.
We're traveling to Egypt today in the evening for the Junior World Cup qualifiers. Since we're playing round robin, we hope to be the top 2 teams in the round robin, so as to play the position 1 and 2 to qualify for the Junior World Cup, which will be in December.
Kenya men's team will open their campaign against Egypt tomorrow, then face South Africa on Monday. Team manager Tracy Nungari says the team are well prepared, ready to face their opponents despite missing the last tournament held in 2021.
We've been preparing the team for quite a bit of time since last year, and we're really happy to have the opportunity to participate in this championship. We really thank the government. They've come through for us. They've given us a full kit, everything that we need to travel. All our airline tickets, our accommodation is already set, and we are just set to go and give our best.
The winning teams in both categories will qualify to take part in their respective FIH Junior Hockey World Cup, which will be held later this year. For Legends Edition, I'm Sela Onyango.
Brimming with confidence, it's seldom that you see a Kenyan team preparing for departure on an international tournament looking so brave, and that's really good. Now, defending champions Kabras Sugar retained the Kenya Cup trophy after trouncing perennial rivals KCB 19-9 in a closely contested final at the ASK Kakamega Showgrounds. The Western Kenya outfit hosted the Kenya Cup final for the 4th consecutive time after topping the regular season for the 8th time. Take a look.
John Kubu drilled in the first 3 points for host Kabras Sugar through a penalty kick. The match went into the breather, Kabras leading 3-0 despite a spirited fight from visitors KCB. In the second half, Ntambeni Dukisa and Darwin Mukiza exchanged penalty kicks before a last-minute try handed Kabras a hard-fought 19-9 victory. En route to the final, Kabras Sugar defeated Kenya Harlequin 22-8 in a closely contested semi-final at the Kakamega Showground, while KCB registered a 38-20 victory over Menengai Oilers at the Roraka Sports Club. Kabras Sugar and KCB have met in 4 Kenya Cup finals, with the Bankers prevailing on both occasions. The Western Kenya outfit hosted the Kenya Cup final for the 4th consecutive time after topping the regular season for the 8th time.
The international Nagoya marathon champion Ruth Chepngetich says she is targeting to lower her course record when she returns to the Japanese city to defend her title. The 2019 world champion smashed the course record last year by more than 3 minutes, clocking 2 hours, 17 minutes and 18 seconds. It was just 10 seconds shy of her personal best time at the time. But she went on to win the Chicago Marathon later in the year in 2 hours, 14 minutes and 18 seconds, the second fastest performance in history, and just 14 seconds adrift of the world record. But she will be kept on her toes by compatriot Nancy Chelagat, who set a personal best of 2 hours, 19 minutes and 31 seconds in the 2021 Valencia Marathon. The Nagoya Women's Marathon offers the world's highest first prize of 32 million Kenya shillings. For the first time in 4 years, the race will have a mass field as the Japanese government finally lifted the COVID-related border restrictions last year.
As to what kind of time she would get, there's the ribbon, there's our winner.
Kenya bagged 20 medals, 14 gold and 6 silver in the East and Central Africa Athletics Under-18 and Under-20 Championships at the Benjamin William Mkapa Stadium in Dar es Salaam. 10 Isaac Omuru and his deputy Judy Kemunto won the men's 100 meters and women's 400 meters races respectively. Sebastian Kakaya won the men's 400 meters, while Brian Kiptum and Wesley Kibet swept the first 2 positions in 800 meters race. Justice Mwasia emerged victorious in the men's 5,000 meters, with Irene Chepkemboi bagging gold in women's javelin as Charles Kipngetich settled for silver in the men's long jump. And over 1,000 primary and secondary school chess players took part in the Youth and Cadet Chess Qualifiers Tournament held at the Mary Leakey Girls High School. The event will be used to select players who take part in the forthcoming event slated for the 20th and 25th of next month at Keriri Girls High School in Kisii.
Over 1,000 players took part in the first stage of the Chess Regional Qualifiers Tournament held at Mary Leakey Girls High School. In the first round of the tournament, Milan Daniel from Mary Hill High School emerged victorious in the under-18 categories, as well as John Mwangi from Kirangari High School.
Qualified to come to this tournament feels really nice because I feel like I'll now get more exposure to techniques and moves, which will really help me in the future.
So, I know we will do our best. We hope to be on that list when it is announced that we will proceed on to. This being my first time doing this, it feels awesome. I like the competition that is around here. I can see people who are more experienced, maybe more than me, but we are still having hopes to touch in there.
According to the chairperson, County Chess Association Moses Kweremba, the tournament aimed at recruiting more players from different regions who would play for the national team in various championships.
We are here for the regional qualifiers, the chess regional qualifiers. In the first stage of selecting the Kenya National Youth Chess Team, this is what we call an open tournament. So it means anyone who knows to play chess below the years of 18 is eligible to come and play.
Every tournament has its own challenges. So what we do is that we put in more time and we put in more challenges to make sure that their intellectual ability just keeps on rising. So that is one of the things. And also to make sure that every tournament that comes up, whether it's a regional, whether it's a Mashinani tournament, that they are always there to participate.
The event will be used to select players who will take part in chess competition, set to be held in 20th and 25th of next month at Kirili Girls High School in Kisii. King Orimongi for Channel 1 Sports.
I beg your pardon. The venue of the school is Kereri Girls High School in Kisii, not Keriri, as I said it earlier. Now, high-flying Equity Bank men's volleyball team came from a set down to register a Hartford 3-1 victory over Prisons Nairobi on day 2 of the third leg of the Kenya Volleyball Federation League at the Nyayo National Stadium. Meanwhile, last season's runners-up, Kenya Ports Authority registered a comfortable 3-set win over Kenya Army.
Equity Bank recovered to humble Prisons Nairobi after losing their first match on day 1 by 3-1 to Prisons Kenya. The Bankers lost the first set 22-25 before a resounding 25-8 win in the second set. The Sami Kirongo Chargers went on to win the third and fourth sets 25-13 and 25-18 respectively. The win is a major boost in Equity Bank's quest to bag a slot in the league playoffs at the end of the season. In another highly charged encounter, Kenya Ports Authority recorded a 3 straight sets win over Kenya Army. The Dockers labored before winning the first set 25-23. Kenya Army fought hard but lost the second and third sets 25-13 and 25-19 respectively.
Now, former Kenya Premier League champions Sofapaka have moved to the 12th position on the league standings after playing to a 1-1 draw with Nairobi City Stars in today's only league match played at the Ruaraka Stadium. City Stars dominated the game for long and were awarded in the 49th minute a penalty when Samuel Kapen put the ball into the net. Sofapaka pushed for an equalizer and were on level terms 14 minutes to time through Rodi Manga. City Stars are now 16th on 14 points, 4 points ahead of Wazito FC, who have 2 games in hand.
Disappointing, very easy goal from the opponent. I think we would have defended that, but today I think we've also managed to create chances. We didn't score. We defended well for most of the match, but just that one ball, we couldn't defend it.
I don't panic as a coach. The reality is, did we make a strong strides to win the game? Yes.
The English Premier League, Phil Billing scored